You know that feeling when you finally made it. When you've clawed your way out of the darkness, built something beautiful with your own two hands, and you're standing in the life you always dreamed of? Yeah, that's where I was. But let me tell you something about success, baby. Success has a funny way of bringing people back into your life. People who forgot your name when you were struggling. People who didn't even remember you had a birthday when you were barely making rent. My name is Naomi, and 12 years ago, my family erased me like I never existed. No calls, no texts, no holiday invitations, not even a how you doing. When my mama passed 12 years and then, she pauses, letting out a breath. Then they showed up at my door. All of them. At my home. My sanctuary. The place I built with tears, sweat, and a kind of faith most people will never understand. This is the story of what happens when the people who abandoned you suddenly want a front row seat to your blessings. And baby, let me tell you, this one will shake you. Let me take you back, way back, before the mansion, before the luxury cars, before the life I have now. I grew up in a tight-knit black family in South Carolina. We weren't rich, but we were rich in love. Or at least, I thought we were. Sunday dinners at Grandma Jean's house. Cousins running through the yard. Aunties frying chicken in the kitchen while the men argued over dominoes on the porch. I was the quiet one, the bookworm, the girl who always had her nose in a novel or a journal, scribbling poems nobody ever asked to read. My older sister, Renee, she was the golden child, beautiful, charming, always knew what to say. She could walk into a room and own it. Me? I was just there, the background character in my own family's story. But I didn't mind. I loved them. I loved hard. I showed up for every birthday, every graduation, every crisis. When my cousin Janelle's car broke down at 2 a.m., who did she call? Me. When my uncle needed help moving, who showed up with a U-Haul? Me. I gave, and gave, and gave. And I thought that's what family did. Voice softens, but there was something I didn't realize back then. Something I was too young, too hopeful to see. I was only valuable when I was useful. Everything shifted when I met Marcus. Marcus was different. He wasn't from our world. He grew up in foster care, bounced from home to home. Never had that big family experience I took for granted. He was an artist, painted these huge, colorful murals around the city, worked construction during the day, painted at night. He was broke. Like, really broke. But baby, he was rich in spirit. He saw me, not the quiet girl in the corner. He saw the woman I could become. We fell in love fast. And I mean fast. Within 6 months, we moved in together. A tiny apartment with roaches and a landlord who never fixed anything. But it was ours, and that's when my family started pulling away. At first, it was subtle. Renee stopped inviting me to girls' nights. My aunties would have these big cookouts and I'd find out about them on Facebook. When I'd ask why I wasn't invited, they'd say, "Oh girl, we thought you were busy with Marcus." But it wasn't about being busy. Pauses. Emotion creeping in. It was about Marcus. About who he was. About the fact that he didn't have a degree or a respectable job. About the fact that he wasn't polished enough for them. My daddy sat me down one Sunday after church. I'll never forget it. He looked at me with these tired eyes and said, "Naomi, you're making a mistake. That boy ain't got nothing to offer you. You think love is enough? It ain't. You gon' wake up one day and regret this." I told him Marcus made me happy. That he treated me like I mattered. My daddy just shook his head. "Happiness don't pay bills, baby girl." And that was it. After that conversation, the invitations stopped completely. 3 years into our relationship, Marcus proposed. It wasn't fancy. No big restaurant. No flash mob. None of that. We were sitting on the fire escape of our apartment, eating Chinese takeout, watching the sunset. He pulled out a ring he'd saved up for months and asked me to be his wife. I said yes without hesitation. I was so excited, y'all. I called my mama first, told her the news, practically screaming into the phone. There was a long silence, and then she said, "Naomi, are you sure about this?" My heart sank. "Mama, I love him. Love don't keep the lights on, baby." It was my daddy's words all over again. But this time, it stung deeper. Because it was my mama, the woman who taught me to pray, who braided my hair every Sunday, who told me I could be anything. And she didn't support me. I told my family about the wedding. Small ceremony, nothing big. I sent out invitations. I called. I texted. Nobody RSVP'd. 2 weeks before the wedding, Renee called me. I thought finally, someone's going to show up for me. But instead, she said, "Naomi, I think you should postpone. This doesn't feel right. You're rushing into something you'll regret." Renee, I'm 28 years old. I'm not rushing. I love him. Well, don't expect us to be there to pick up the pieces when it falls apart. Voice cracks slightly, and just like that, she hung up. On my wedding day, it was me, Marcus, 2 of his friends from work, and the officiant. Nobody from my family came. Not one. After that, it was like I disappeared. Birthdays came and went. Holidays. My mama's 60th. Renee's baby shower. Grandma Jean's funeral. I wasn't invited to any of it. At first, I kept reaching out. I'd send texts. "Hey, just checking in. Hope y'all are doing good." Nothing. I'd call. Straight to voicemail. I tried showing up once at Thanksgiving. I brought a sweet potato pie, knocked on the door with a smile, hoping maybe they'd softened. Renee opened the door, looked at me like I was a stranger. "Naomi, this is family only." "I am family," I said, my voice shaking. "Not anymore," she said, and closed the door. I stood there on that porch, holding that pie, feeling like somebody had reached into my chest and ripped my heart out. Marcus found me sitting in the car an hour later, crying so hard I couldn't breathe. He didn't say anything. He just held me. That was the last time I tried. Pauses, takes a breath for 12 years. I mourned them. I mourned the family I thought I had, the love I thought was unconditional. But baby, let me tell you what happened in those 12 years. I became somebody. Marcus and I were broke for a long time. We struggled. There were nights we had to choose between groceries and the electric bill. Nights I cried myself to sleep wondering if we'd made a mistake. But Marcus never stopped believing. He kept painting, kept dreaming, and one day, one of his murals caught the attention of a big art collector. That led to a gallery show. That led to commissions. That led to opportunities we never imagined. I started freelancing as a writer. Content creation, copywriting, anything I could do from home. I worked late into the night, building a portfolio, pitching clients, getting rejected over and over until finally, somebody said yes. And then somebody else. And then somebody else. Within 5 years, I had my own digital marketing agency. I hired a team. We worked with major brands. The money started flowing in. Real money. Marcus's art was selling for tens of thousands of dollars. We bought our first home, a beautiful 4-bedroom house in a gated community. Then we upgraded. A custom-built home with a pool, a home studio for Marcus, an office for me with floor-to-ceiling windows. We traveled. Paris, Tokyo, Ghana. We lived the life we used to dream about on that fire escape. And through it all, silence from my family. I stopped checking their social media, stopped wondering if they thought about me. I had to, for my own peace. I built a new family, friends who showed up. Marcus's found family, people who loved us loud and proud, a community that celebrated us. I healed, slowly, painfully, but I healed. And I told myself I was done looking back. That it was a Saturday morning, early summer, the kind of day where the sun is just right and everything feels possible. I was in my kitchen, making coffee, still in my silk robe. Marcus was in his studio, painting. We had people coming over later for a little gathering, friends, laughter, good food. Life was good. Life was peaceful, and then the doorbell rang. I wasn't expecting anyone. I walked to the door, looked through the peephole, and my whole body went cold. Renee, my daddy, my Aunt Carol, my cousin Janelle, 5 of them, standing on my porch, dressed nice, holding what looked like a gift basket. I couldn't breathe. My hand was shaking as I reached for the doorknob. Part of me wanted to pretend I wasn't home, to let them stand there and feel what it's like to be ignored. But I opened the door, voice steady, but emotion underneath. Nethrine smiled. That same bright, charming smile. Naomi, oh my God. Girl, look at you. Look at this house. I didn't smile back. I just stared. Can we come in? My daddy asked, like we'd just talked yesterday, like 12 years hadn't passed. I stepped aside, let them in, watched them walk through my foyer, looking around like they were touring a museum. This is beautiful, Aunt Carol said, touching the chandelier in the entryway. Girl, you did good. I still hadn't said a word. Renee turned to me, her smile faltering just a little. We wanted to come by, check on you. It's been too long. 12 years, I said quietly. It's been 12 years. The room went silent. My daddy cleared his throat. Naomi, we know it's been a while. A while? I cut him off, and I could feel the heat rising in my chest. Daddy, y'all erased me. I got married and nobody came. Mama died and nobody told me until 2 weeks after the funeral. 12 years, and not one of you cared if I was dead or alive. Renee opened her mouth, but I kept going. And now you show up here at my house with a gift basket and a smile like everything's okay? We made mistakes, Naomi, Aunt Carol said softly. We know that. Mistakes? My voice cracked. Y'all didn't make mistakes. Y'all made a choice. You chose to cut me off because I didn't marry who you wanted me to marry. Because Marcus wasn't good enough. Because I chose love over your approval. Renee finally spoke, and her voice had an edge to it. You shut us out too, Naomi. You stopped coming around. I stared at her. I stopped coming around because y'all closed the door in my face. Literally. I showed up, and you told me I wasn't family anymore. She looked away. My daddy stepped forward. We were wrong, baby girl. We were scared. Scared you were making a mistake. We thought we were protecting you. Protecting me? Tears burned my eyes. You abandoned me. When I needed y'all the most, you abandoned me. Long pause. Emotional silence. Marcus appeared in the hallway. He didn't say anything, just stood there, his presence a quiet reminder that I wasn't alone. Why are you here? I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. Why now? Renee looked at the others, then back at me. We saw your interview. My heart stopped. 2 months earlier, I'd done an interview with a business magazine. They featured me as one of the top Black women entrepreneurs in the South. It went viral. People shared it everywhere. We didn't know, Renee continued. We didn't know you'd done all this, built all this. And there it was. The truth. They didn't come because they missed me. They didn't come because they loved me. They came because I was successful. Voice hardening, so you saw I made something of myself. And now I'm worth your time? It's not like that, my daddy said quickly. Then what is it like? I shot back. Because from where I'm standing, it looks like y'all only care now that I got money. Now that I got something to show for my life. We're family, Aunt Carol said, like that word still meant something. No, I said, shaking my head. Family shows up. Family loves you when you got nothing. Y'all aren't my family. You're strangers who share my blood. The words hung in the air, heavy and final. Renee's eyes filled with tears. Naomi, please, don't do this. We want to make things right. You can't. My voice was steady now, strong. You can't undo 12 years. You can't unbreak my heart. You can't give me back my mama's funeral. You can't give me back all those holidays, all those birthdays, all those moments I needed y'all and you weren't there. So that's it. My daddy asked, his voice thick with emotion. You're just gonna shut us out forever? I took a deep breath. I'm not shutting you out. You did that to me. I'm just refusing to let you back in like nothing happened. Y'all want forgiveness? That's gonna take time. Y'all want a relationship? You're gonna have to earn that. They didn't stay long after that. The gift basket sat on my counter, untouched, as they shuffled toward the door. Renee turned back one last time. I'm sorry, Naomi. I really am. I nodded. I hear you. Can we call you sometime? I hesitated. Part of me wanted to say no, wanted to slam the door the way she'd slammed it on me. But I wasn't that person. I wasn't cruel. I was just done being hurt. You can call, I said quietly, but I'm not promising anything. She nodded, wiping her eyes, and walked out. When the door closed, I stood there for a long moment. Marcus came up behind me, wrapped his arms around me. You okay? He asked softly. I don't know, I whispered. I don't know what I feel. That's okay. You don't have to know right now. I turned to him, tears finally spilling over. They only came because of what I have, not because of who I am. I know, baby, I know. And I let myself cry, let myself feel the grief of it, the injustice, the pain of being valued only when you're valuable to someone else. But I also let myself feel something else, pride, because I did this. I built this life. I survived their rejection and came out on the other side stronger, wealthier, freer. They didn't get to take credit for that. Over the next few weeks, the texts started. Renee, hey sis, just thinking about you. Chanel, I'm sorry for how things went. I miss you. My daddy, can we talk sometime? I didn't respond right away. I sat with each message, felt what it brought up in me. Some days, I felt anger. How dare they think a text could fix this? Other days, I felt sadness. I missed them. I missed what we used to be. But most days, I felt nothing. Like they were people I used to know in another lifetime. Marcus and I talked about it a lot. He never told me what to do, just listened, held space for me. What do you want, Naomi? He asked me one night as we sat by the pool, watching the stars. I want them to understand, I said. I want them to see what they did really see it? Do you think they can? I thought about it. I don't know. I don't know if they'll ever get it. And I can't spend my life waiting for them to. He nodded. So what are you gonna do? I looked out at the water, at the life we'd built, at the peace we'd fought for. I'm gonna keep living, I said. I'm gonna keep building. And if they want to be part of this life, they're gonna have to show up different, consistent, humble, real. And if they don't, I smiled, even though it hurt. Then I'll be okay, because I already have everything I need. It's been 8 months now since they showed up. We've had a few phone calls, short ones, surface-level conversations. They ask how I'm doing. I ask about them. It's polite, distant, like talking to acquaintances. Renee invited me to her daughter's birthday party last month. I didn't go. Sent a gift instead. She texted me. I understand. Thank you for the gift. Baby steps. My daddy called me on my birthday this year. First time in over a decade. He sang happy birthday off key, just like he used to when I was little. I cried when we hung up. But I also knew this doesn't erase anything. One phone call doesn't heal 12 years. One gift doesn't undo the closed door. Forgiveness, I'm learning, isn't a light switch. It's not something you turn on and everything's fine. It's a journey. It's layers. It's choosing, day by day, whether you want to carry the weight of anger or set it down. Some days, I choose to set it down. Some days, I pick it back up because I'm not done feeling it yet. And that's okay. Here's what I want you to hear, baby. Whether you're listening to this in your car, in your kitchen, late at night when you can't sleep, people will only see your value when it benefits them, and that's not your fault. That's not a reflection of your worth. That's a reflection of their limitations. You can love people. You can give them everything, and they will still choose to walk away when you don't fit into the box they made for you. And when you rise, when you build something beautiful, when you become everything they said you couldn't be, some of them will come back, not because they missed you, but because they missed what you could do for them. And baby, you get to decide if they get access to you again. You don't owe anyone your peace. You don't owe anyone your time. You don't owe anyone forgiveness just because they're family. You get to protect what you built. You get to set boundaries. You get to say, I love you from a distance. Because here's the truth they don't tell you. You can honor your journey and still close the door on people who dishonored you. Your healing doesn't require their presence. Your success doesn't need their validation. You are enough. You were always enough. And anyone who couldn't see that when you had nothing, they don't get to celebrate you now that you have everything. So where am I now? I'm still here, in this beautiful home, with a man who loved me when I had nothing and loves me the same now that we have everything. I'm still building, still growing, still learning what it means to love myself the way I used to love people who didn't deserve it. I'm still healing. And my family? They're still reaching out, still trying. And honestly, I don't know where it'll go. Maybe one day we'll rebuild something different, something honest. Or maybe we won't. Maybe this is a closed chapter, a lesson learned. And either way, I'll be okay. Because I learned something in those 12 years of silence. Something I want to leave you with. You don't need people who only love you when you're winning. You need people who see you when you're broken, who show up when you're struggling, who choose you when you have nothing to offer but your heart. And if you don't have those people right now, be that person for yourself. Show up for you, choose you, love you, build the life you want. Not for them, for you. And when they come knocking, when they show up after years of silence with smiles and gift baskets, you look them in the eye and you say, I did this without you. And I'll keep doing it without you if I have to. Because, baby, you are not the background character in your own story. You are the main event, and your glow up, your success, your peace, that's yours. You earned it. You built it. You survived for it. Don't let anyone take that from you. Not even family. Thank you for listening to my story. I know it was long. I know it was heavy. But if you made it this far, I hope you heard what you needed to hear. You are loved. You are worthy. And you don't need anyone's permission to be great. Now go out there and live your life. The one you built. The one that's yours. And remember, they didn't believe in you when you were planting seeds. They don't get to show up now and demand a seat at your harvest. Be blessed, baby. Be free. Be you.